what's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck, and you are tuning into Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea, where we talk about all things sweet tea. This is I guess the gossipy true crime side of what I actually enjoy watching is true crime, and we have been talking about this case with Tyrone Davis Jr. And the last video I posted up was a post from the girlfriend, as well as a live stream that a friend of Tyrone Jr., named Jason, had with another friend. I think his name is Jamar. They call him Looney as a nickname. So it was so sketchy with the things that Jason was saying, not really answering questions direct. And there's another content creator named Polo who put out information about him being the person that was at the hospital, according to the girlfriend's post. So Kiera, aka Lulu, basically put him out there in a post. That is all her fault for doing that. But if Jason was going to come out and clear his name, my biggest issue was that he really did not do a good job of making things clear or explaining why he went to this hospital. He allegedly took a photo of Tyrone Jr. while he's on life support, and was taking photos at the funeral and then texting them over to the girlfriend. It's morbid. It makes no sense. I don't see how that's being respectful of a family at all. And so, to do something like that, it just, even for a reporter or journalist, anything, it's still just lines you just don't cross. I just don't understand why anyone would want to take photos of somebody that's deceased unless it's something that the family urged him to do. Doing this for his girlfriend who can't even keep her story straight about what happened to him. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I just find it to be kind of, disturbing. So the mother, Tyrone Jr.'s mother, went to, I want to say, a public hearing or a public meeting, town hall meeting, with the mayor in Gainesville, Florida. You just can't make this stuff up. It was just mind-numbing. I did see the clip. I don't have Facebook, so I pulled up, this is Chronicle Speaks video that we're going to check out here, because she has the full video in her video of the mother at the meeting, acting a plump fool, if you ask me. That's not what justice looks like when you're talking about an investigation involving your son's loss of life. I mean, she went there and just, you guys will see, she just kept talking about wanting justice. And it's like, well, you didn't even want the investigation to kickstart, and you don't want it to be ongoing. You're mad at all of the internet for talking about this situation. And yet you're talking about, I want justice for my son. Like in the last videos I posted up on this, what does justice look like to this mother? I don't think she can articulate that. And that's the problem. So if you believe what the girlfriend has said about, his injury, and she hit him with a car and she's trying to pass that off like that's, oh, it's not a big deal. No, it's a very big deal. A human body versus a 2-ton vehicle. What are we talking about? So she's tried to minimize it. And the mother believes the girlfriend has tried to defend her, has had other people come out, this minister who's messy, come out trying to defend the girlfriend. And it's just, it backfired bigly, okay? The backlash was ridiculous. But that's what happens when you're talking about, oh, I'm going to believe whatever she says with no evidence, but I want justice for my son. So what type of justice are you talking about here? The one person the mother should be talking to, she's not really challenging her. She's just taking whatever she says to heart. And it shouldn't be that way. Especially when, you have a whole nother person, this messy minister that came out talking about she took 3 lie detector tests. I mean, how does that not raise a red flag? It's almost as if common sense is just a foreign concept in this situation. And it shouldn't be this complicated. Post the results up of her lie detector test. I'm just saying. But either way, We're going to check this out. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I do want to continue to report on this to bring awareness, because the storyline that the girlfriend has given so far as to why he was found underneath a highway, a busy highway on a busy street. And I guess she forgot that traffic cameras, record everything. But either way, she has not been able to stick to one straight story. And it's not a good thing for her to have to take 3 lie detector tests, especially when we haven't seen the results of it. Who knows if she ever told the truth? If you tell the truth for the first test, you don't need the other 2, because the person conducting the lie detector test is simply asking questions to try to see if you're involved, or if you even had any knowledge of the incident and exactly why you failed to get, help. You left him out there, to his own demise. I mean, it's ridiculous. How do you excuse that? There's no excuse for it. So let's get to this. We're going to check this out. So you all can see this malarkey. And shout out to Chronicle Speaks. Thank you so much for uploading this. Everybody doesn't have Facebook. All right, let's go.
For anyone that's just catching up, Christmas of 2025, Tyrone Davis Jr. had just taken his girlfriend Lulu on what was described as a romantic cabin trip to Gainesville, Florida. During that trip, Tyrone suffered serious injuries and was later transported to a local hospital where he ultimately passed away. In the aftermath, questions quickly began to surface about what happened before emergency services arrived, who was present, and why key people in Tyrone's life were not notified right away. Since then, multiple individuals close to Tyrone, including Lulu, his mother Rena, and longtime friends have gone live, sharing timelines and explanations that in some cases conflict with one another. As more information continues to come out, many are still trying to piece together what is confirmed, what is being claimed, and what remains unanswered.
My name is Rena Demps, and I'm here on behalf of my son Tyrone Davis. He was here December 27th, and I'm just trying to find out what happened to my son. He passed away here.
I love you too.
Man, I love you. You everything.
He came here for vacation, and he passed away here on Archer Road under the bridge.
Okay, first off, let me tell you how this is so disingenuous. Because if you can't keep saying forever, I'm just trying to find out what happened, if you believe the story that the girlfriend is giving you. How are you trying to find out what happened if you believe her and what she said happened? It's the contradiction for me. It is highly contradictory to sit here and to say, I'm trying to find out what happened to my son, and yet the girlfriend has told you what happened, and you supposedly on her side and believe what she says. So why are we still at square one? Why are you still in this discovery phase of trying to find out what happened if you believe what the girlfriend has told you as to what happened? I don't think that the mother is genuinely trying to get justice here. Because if you believe what the girlfriend has said, then what type of justice are you seeking? If she told you what happened and you're good with that, then what are you doing? If you don't believe her, just say that. I don't understand. You have nothing to lose by saying, I don't believe everything she's saying. I just don't. I question it. It's too many loopholes. The logistics of this is implausible. You run somebody, you hit somebody with a car, and the only thing that is injured is back of the head in a specific spot. And it caused the damage that it caused. And no other part of his body was injured. Not his arms, legs, back, nothing. Chest, nothing. And how did she hit him with the front end of the car? Was it on the driver's side, the passenger side, towards the middle of the vehicle? How did this go? What was the logistics of that? What did that accident look like? And why is she not going to court for hitting a whole human being with a vehicle? Why hasn't she been charged with that? Because at the end of the day, that's assault and battery with a vehicle. Whether you were intending to, unalive him by doing that or not is irrelevant. It's the simple fact that she at least did that and admitted to it. Why is she not facing a judge in a court of law and being charged with that? See, this is why people don't believe what she's saying. Because there's certain consequences that you will suffer because of that. You can't just tell the detectives, oh, I mistakenly hit him with a car and I didn't know. What do you mean? You are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Like, that's how you can't make this up. It's ridiculous. But yet the mother believes this. And she's not asking, physiologically speaking, how would hitting him with a car, how are you able to achieve that? Were you only injured and caused injury to the back of his head. Not the sides, not the front. His arms and legs not scuffed up, nothing. No internal bleeding or any other issues with any other organs that we know of so far. Nothing. And if that be the case, then why don't you share details about, so far what's on the autopsy or what the medical examiner has determined? You don't have to read all of it. Just give us a summary. What does that confirm? Does it confirm that there were no other injuries to the rest of his body? What did they confirm in this autopsy report? Because they've had the funeral, he's in the ground. This makes no sense. I'm wondering if they're gonna just have to, dig up the casket, do another test on him or something, because this makes no sense. And the mother believes that. She believes that that's what happened, and yet she's still asking what happened to my son. Okay, so you don't believe the girlfriend then? Is that what you're doing? And this is a public hearing or a public meeting. I don't know why I keep saying hearing. Public meeting or a public forum. And she's standing here asking, the mayor and the legislative body, not the investigators at Gainesville Police Department, not any, detective agent, perhaps soliciting the help from the Florida Bureau of Investigations. The FBI have their own, agencies on the state level. They have their own satellite offices and headquarters in each state. So the Florida Bureau of Investigations, is she going to them asking for help as well? Like, you're going to a public meeting where the mayor is about something that's being investigated by some detectives with the police. This isn't the place to ask for help. So, you guys can understand how hypocritical it is to stand here and say, I'm asking, I want to know what happened to him, but yet when it comes to the girlfriend, no, I believe what she says. What do you mean? So it's like she's at this phase of, I want justice for my son, just to kind of, because she's caught so much backlash from that. You don't want justice. If you believe that what she's done was exactly what happened, then you should be resolved with that. You should be at peace with that. You should not be still seeking something. But that's just basic common sense. And her pride and ego is getting in the way. She's not even allowing that to kind of sink in for a minute and think about that. Like, what am I asking for here? Man, this is ridiculous.
I'm trying to get justice, trying to find out what really happened to my son. I'm calling around.
So she doesn't believe the girlfriend.
Trying to find out things. Nobody's not giving me any answers.
What things?
I need justice. I need to know what happened to my son. I've lost all three of my...
Who's not giving her answers here? Didn't she tell the investigators to only notify her of what they're doing and not to disclose the information to anyone else, as if he does not have another parent? Does she not realize she does not dictate that? He was grown. We're not talking about you protecting a minor child. You're talking about a grown man that has two parents. He has two sides of a family that loves him. Who's not telling her things? What things is she looking into? Is she going to get some body camera footage from the police? Was the police there at the scene when he was discovered? Or was it just the paramedics, EMS? Why is there no police report from the actual scene of the accident? Make this make sense. If she understands how these investigations work, then she'll know what to ask for and what can be released to her right now. I don't get what she's seeking at this point if she believes the girlfriend.
He was my last son. I lost 3 sons. I just buried one 2.5 years ago. And I need justice. I need to know what happened to my son. Nobody won't get back in contact with me. People are telling me different stories. People are saying different stories of what happened. But I'm his mother. I need to know what happened. And I need to know. I need somebody to give me answers on what happened to my son. I'm not saying this y'all fault, but I need to know. I want justice for my son. He came here on vacation. He died here on vacation. So I need to know. I don't care about these.
She's coming to them as if they are the ones that did something to him. That's not, first of all, you're coming to the wrong place to try to get that type of, result. Why aren't you saying this to the investigator? Why don't you go to the Gainesville Police Department, talk with the investigators, and tell them, hey, you got some investigators, go to their superior. Go to the captain of the police force. And say, you got some investigators, Captain, that's slipping. They're not giving us any information. I'm calling up here every day. I have evidence on this where I'm calling up here. I'm recording the calls. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I've called 16 times in 3 weeks. Like, they're not saying anything to me at all. They keep saying it's an ongoing investigation. Like, where are we with this? Do they need our assistance in getting video camera footage? What do they need? How can we help aid this investigation along? As opposed to her telling them the issues that she's having and being specific about it, it's just general, just broad and vague nonsense she's spitting out here. And they're probably sitting there looking at her like, what is she talking about? So the attention that's been brought to this case is because of people on social media and sharing the information. It's not coming from the mayor. It's not coming from local politicians, legislators, and it's not coming from them. It's going to come, whatever the result is, or the answer you're seeking regarding the investigation, that's going to come from the police department. Why isn't she saying, okay, if anything, how do I go about getting the Florida Bureau of Investigations involved? What are the steps that I should be taking here? Because I'm trying to get video camera footage. I'm trying to get a police report. I'm trying to get an incident report. I'm trying to get the police to give me some clarity in this. We have questions. Why not do a press conference? Or why not, like I said, go to the captain of the police department and sit down and have a conversation with him or her and say, this is what we've been asking for. Here, some laws in place that I know will permit us to get some information. And all of this is being ignored. The police department lied about the street camera footage. Things like that she could have said. She could have told them, you have a police department that's lying about how street cameras work. Like, they don't just trigger when someone runs a red light. That's not how that works. And yet they're telling, the family this. Why are they lying that bad about something that can be Googled? Like, those are the things she can bring up. And a lot of times with these local public, meetings like this, the chief or the captain will be present because they have to give a report. So the best route to take would be to go to the captain or the chief of the police department in Gainesville and to solicit the help of the Florida Bureau of Investigations. Ironically, still FBI. But to get them involved and at least have them commit to supporting the investigators however they need to, considering the fact that you're saying they're not telling you something. Who knows what she's asking? What information is she asking for? And what did she expect them to tell her if she believes the girl? Once again, you believe the girlfriend. So what are you specifically asking for right now? So, it seems like this is just a circus show right now, what she's putting on.
Other people, social media, they putting all this stupid foolishness on there about me, scandalizing my name, scandalizing my son's name.
This isn't about
if you. Look him up, Tyrone Lamar Davis Jr., he was loved by everybody. He was a YouTube blogger.
He was a YouTube blogger, but yet you're mad at all YouTubers for blogging, for talking about this case. You want answers, but you're not asking any questions either. And you're attacking YouTube bloggers. Some of us are independent journalists and members of the media, members of the press. It's what we're considered to be. We're sharing information as it comes out. And we're talking about it to help bring some awareness to it. You have other people that can cover this information from a different angle and put out questions to help the family take those questions to the police department. You have some people that do have insight and knowledge of how investigations are conducted, and they can probably give you some helpful information and some tips on what to ask for and what to expect in this process. And these are the very people you're kicking to the dirt. But yet your son was a YouTube blogger himself. Make that make sense? Like, this is ridiculous. She's making this about her and her being attacked. Lady. Let me tell you something right now. This isn't the way to go. And you can't put a gag order on the entire internet. That's not how that works. So you're going to have to get over it. Or stay off social media. If you don't like it, stay off of it. It happens. I don't expect everybody to agree with me and everything I say. You got to have thick skin to be on the internet. You got to have thick skin to be on social media. But when you're sitting here saying, oh, I want the girlfriend to be at a funeral, knowing damn well she's giving you some nonsense that so far has not been corroborated with any evidence. You got some play sister of yours that's a minister that's being messy, talking about she took 3 lie detector tests. Oh, and people get mad. He was always drunk. Blah, blah, blah. You should be mad at your friend who did a whole live stream accusing your son of being an alcoholic, basically. Every time you see him, he's always drinking. People get upset. They get mad. They do this and that. Where is that lady at now? But she hasn't said anything since her second live stream where she got so much backlash. She felt like she had to come back and try to clear her name and then wanted to conduct some weird Bible study session where everyone else is the bad guy. No. To Minister Messy, the devil knows the Bible as well. What did you think you were accomplishing with that? Your attempt to try to sit here and to give a different side of something, it just ended up being more accusatory than anything and painting this young man, Tyrone Jr., in this limelight to where you made him sound like just an alcoholic who abuses women. Oh, and he left her on the side of the road as well. At what point did he ever have her jump out of a car that's going at 25 miles per hour? There's no comparison to that. And this is what they're just speculating here because they're going based on what the girlfriend has told them, not because they've seen the actual evidence of this. Why isn't the mother petitioning them to help her get the traffic camera footage or the surveillance camera footage from the Circle K or the hotel or Papa John's? Different angles. I mean, that's something you could be saying, hey, the police lied about this traffic camera footage. They lied about, how these things work. So obviously you have a police department that doesn't understand how cameras work in these traffic lights. They don't just operate when someone runs a red light. It's such a stupid thing to say. But she's not bringing that up at all. This is insane, man. This is insane.
Driver, he was an amazing man. I just had his funeral. His funeral was over 2,500 people there. So that tells you
thanks to the internet.
He's staying for something, and that was love. So again, I need to know what happened to my son. And if nobody can't help me, it's always somebody higher. I'm going to be justice for Troy until the day I die. So I need answers. And I'm not going anywhere until I get my answers, until I get my proof of what I need. I need to know. You can keep recording because you're the one that keep putting fake accusations on Facebook. So keep recording. I don't even know why.
You can't. What accusations? We would not have known this boy named Jason was at the hospital. It had not been for him actually finding out who it was. Because, Kiara said a close friend was there. She never named him. But Polo was the one that actually got information to name him. And then Jason comes out, confirms it, and then tries to clear his name horribly. And of all the things she could be saying right now, you only get but so many minutes to speak at the podium in these public meetings. They may give 3 or 4 minutes. Of all the things she could be saying right now, she's sitting here talking about somebody recording her. You are in a public meeting, in a building that's accessible to the public. What is the matter with you? You're going to be recorded. You don't care about being on social media when it comes to your business. Now all of a sudden, social media is just a no-no place. Now you want to be particular about being on social media. But if she wants to advertise her tax business, yeah, she's there all day on Facebook. You can't make this up. This is not the time for you to be sitting here trying to take offense to somebody theorizing and speculating when you've provided us with zero evidence to corroborate anything. And it still doesn't explain why in the world would you just trust the girlfriend or what she says. You're not demanding that she provides any evidence to you either. And you weren't there in the car with them. Yet they tried to brush this off. Nobody knows what happened except God and Tyrone and the girlfriend. That's it. Okay. So why do you trust everything she say? See, we can sit here and use your words against you. But you're the one that's putting it out there. No one has to believe the girlfriend. No one has to believe Kiara. No one. That should not be an expectation. And if we don't believe her, all of a sudden, it's an attack on you. You're just one person. I get the sense she feels like she's, being very competitive. Like it's like she has to compete with people to be the mother. Like you are the mother. You don't need to keep telling us that. It's disturbing that you are the mother and then you're just trusting the girlfriend. And then one of your so-called, sisters in Christ who's supposed to be a minister is sitting here telling, the internet, social media, in live streams, your son was always drinking, that he was abusive, that he kicked Lulu out of the car, Kiara out of the car. Tried to literally dumb down what has transpired. And you said nothing to that lady. What's her name? Nikki Cox? When are you, Renee, when are you going to say something to Nikki Cox about saying all those awful things about your son, who's no longer here to even defend himself? Why don't you call her out? Why would you want people to think that your son is an alcoholic? Because that's what the average person was thinking when we got through listening to Nikki Cox do her live stream. The first one. She literally tried to paint him as an alcoholic. You can't make this up. Well, where's all this energy at for Nikki Cox? I wouldn't want anybody to try to sit here and tarnish my sons in death. Now they're not here to defend themselves. God forbid you sitting here talking about my kids was always drinking. Every time they did a video, I'm always drinking. He's always drinking and he always get drunk. And he's put her out the car too. He did the same thing to her. No. She's still alive. He's not. There's the difference. You can't make this stuff up. There's no competition here. No one's competing with her to be the mother. What is she doing? No. Let's waste time on you trying to point out a content creator or independent journalist, whoever he considers himself to be. Yeah, because he's recording in a public meeting where there's no expectation of privacy. That is Polo's. This right here is his right to exercise the free speech rights that we all have here. That's his First Amendment rights at work right now. Yes, he does have the right to go into a public meeting and record it as a member of the press. So you got freedom of the press and free speech and expression. And you're trying to infringe upon that. I don't get it. What are you doing?
Ms. Debs, if you direct that.
The fact that they had to do this.
I can't imagine. Well, I'm going to ask someone from the state.
He need to be removed.
No.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask someone from the state manager's office to talk with you about this, okay?
Now, the person that drove
Oh my God. No, you cannot have him removed. That's not how that works. That is a clear infringement on his First Amendment rights. You don't get to make that decision. You don't get to dictate that at all. And you're causing a spectacle by expecting them to remove him because he's recording, which he also has the right to do. Is it the law that she doesn't understand? I thought she had 2 attorneys. There's no way her attorneys advised her to do this. Who's the lady standing next to her? Is that one of her attorneys? Because she's got 2 attorneys. Why do you need 2 attorneys? That's a lot of money you paying up, in billable hours right now. Those retainer fees must have been something else. How did you afford that? Why do you have 2 attorneys? Why does she have 2 attorneys? What are they doing? Who are these attorneys? So neither of the 2 attorneys she allegedly has, that she claims she has, advised her that this was a bad idea. You're not getting up there and being clear or articulate at all on exactly what you're asking them to do. You should have had some questions written out. You should have had some suggestions, notated. You should have already gone to the chief of police, to the captain over there at the police station for Gainesville. And then at the very least be able to come to this public meeting where the public gets to come in and engage in their civic duties of participating in a public meeting with their local officials. Because it's like I have to say this. With their local officials, they have the right to engage in this meeting. And you took 3 to 4 minutes of the speaking time they give you to sit here and to go after a content creator. But you can't tell them exactly what's going on and exactly how you need help. You can't do that either. This is embarrassing as hell. And they say he needs to be removed. No. And then that's why they had to sit here and say, can you, ma'am, no, nope. Because they will be violating his rights as well. You can't make this up. So it's not a matter of, what's good for thee is not for me. No, you both have the right to free speech and expression. You're standing there expressing yourself. You're speaking freely. He didn't get up and interrupt you. He didn't stop you from speaking, nor did he ask the mayor and the council up there, any of the legislators, to have you removed from the meeting. But they would have removed you if you continued to be unruly. They definitely can do that. If you disrupt the meeting to the point where they're not able to conduct business, they can remove you. But you're the one causing the spectacle. And you were unprepared. So for everybody else, the family, anybody that wants to go to these meetings, all you guys got to do is go on the website for Gainesville or whatever that district, the county that they're in. When they have their public meetings, just go to the meeting and sign up to speak for 3 to 4 minutes. They give you like 3 or 4 minutes. And you don't need to make an appointment or anything like that. Just get the meeting agenda. Find out when the next meeting is going to occur. You know, you're talking about this is a local meeting here. So just be prepared for the next meeting. Typically, these types of meetings are either conducted once a month or once every other week. Just go to the meeting. It's free for all. The public can go in and observe, spectate, record, speak, ask questions. That's what they're giving you the time to do. Not to sit here and infringe upon someone else's constitutional rights. You can't make this up.
Be removed from the meeting was digital creator FME Polo.
And Renee, you his mama. You supposed to have you supposed to be, you supposed to have tears in your eyes. Know what I mean? You supposed to want justice for your son. You should be like, man, regardless of what that nigga say, that nigga really pushing for my son. He pushing for my son. That nigga ain't said nothing negative, physically, verbally, to denounce his name. Nigga stood on business by his name. What happened today, you should have been in there at that city hall, and you should have been focused on talking about Joe.
Right.
But instead, you being focused on talking about Joe, you worried about Polo. Do Polo intimidate you that much? Do Polo scare you that much? Do Polo make you feel some type of way that you went in there and you lied to the police and you told the police to escort you outside? Like Polo would do something to Joe mama.
He feels as
That's
though Tyrone
crazy. Why would you do that? So you go there and make a spectacle, and then you tell the police that you're in fear of your life. Meanwhile, you haven't petitioned for any protection order. It's not like you've gone to the police before about Polo. You sit here and you saw him at the meeting, and then all of a sudden you're in fear of your life. Do you understand that they're not going to stop him from going to that public meeting that's open to the public in a building that's sponsored by tax dollars? That's not how that works. You don't get to evict anyone out of a public meeting. Who? She got 2 attorneys, and neither one of them are advising her on a damn thing. Yo, put that money to good use and ask your attorneys some questions. And they will tell you, yeah, Lady Luck Club is absolutely right. You cannot infringe upon someone else's constitutional rights to free speech. Freedom of the press. We get to record and report on this. We're not the enemy. You're making yourself look like a bigger jackass right now. It makes no sense. And yet, meanwhile, you believe the girlfriend and what she told you with no evidence. Oh, my God.
To the plate now because her family has been putting her on blast for still being cool with Lulu. He posted this message from allegedly one of Tyrone's family members, and it says, "Cause ain't no way on God's green earth I'm waiting on detectives to do anything when I know for a fact something happened. It don't take a rocket scientist to see this. We are not blind. We are not dumb. We have common sense here. Even if she's innocent, she's still guilty by not giving families closure. And if she did, we don't know about it. This shit is disgusting on levels beyond our control. Like that bitch said about Cuz' death. She get to write essays online and still nothing about Cuz. And Renee, you was at the hospital with her the very first day this all happened back in December. How could you even? What made your mind even listen to anything she had to say when you know she was the last with him? How you allowed her to tell you anything? You came back to us with what Kiara told you. I literally don't care about her thoughts. Exactly. What do you feel happened to your son? Forget the detectives and other stuff. What do you feel happened? It's okay to talk about it. Now we know for certain Tyrone.
See, here's the thing. She can do more than just talk about it. She can actually, petition to get some of the video camera footages. All these places where the girlfriend claimed they were. My question is, why, what are you arguing about at the cabin that led to you all having to get a hotel? Why didn't you just go home? So they left the cabin, checked into a hotel, as opposed to just, all right, you know what? We're just going to take it back to the house. Aren't they living in Fort Lauderdale? How far is that from Gainesville, Florida? Isn't that like another 2-3 hour drive? Maybe that, maybe less. Still not down the street around the corner. So why didn't they just go straight home? Why did they check into a hotel? What was the purpose of that? Did Tyrone Jr. have his own home? Didn't he live on his own? Did he have his own house? I can't fathom why you would need to book a hotel when you could have just driven home. I still don't understand that. But she hasn't, said anything about trying to get video camera footages or none of that. Was the police even at the scene? And if she says, oh, people get upset. This is the girlfriend putting it in a post talking about people getting upset and don't act like you all never hit somebody with a car. We haven't. The average person has not hit another human being with a vehicle, a 2-ton vehicle. What are you talking about? That's not normal. There's nothing normal about that. That is absolutely absurd. You can't make this stuff up. And yet she believes her, because of reasons. Oh.
Father's side of the family has been very vocal about their dislike for Lulu because they feel like Lulu had everything to do with his passing. Oh, and by the way, Aunt Natasha was not happy about missing that meeting yesterday.
We didn't know about the court date. We wasn't aware. I'm sorry, not the court date. I'm sorry, the commissioner's public meeting we didn't know about. So therefore we wasn't able.
It's a public meeting. Just look up on the website when they're having the next one. They have multiple meetings. This is talking about local government politics. They have meetings like this at least once a month. Just look up on the website, look for their agenda on when the next meeting is. You should be able to actually look on the past meeting, this most recent meeting's agenda to see when the next meeting is going to occur. If not, check the website, whatever Gainesville, whatever it is, however you can look that up for that particular, I don't even know the mayor's name there. But go on the website and see when the next meeting is going to occur and just go to the meeting. It's a public meeting. You don't need an appointment for it. Just go. Just go. Anyone can go. Anyone can go to a public meeting and, observe or, at the very least, sign up. I think you have to sign in and sign up to speak. But just go to the meeting. It's that straightforward.
To be there on Tyrone Davis' behalf because had we would have known that courtroom would have been flooded. Not only that, had we would have known, I am the voice that I would have spoken to everybody up there that had a seat in the commissioner's room that day. But the facts and the things that needed to be addressed to me regarding my nephew Tyrone Davis Jr. So I just say that to say this. Nobody take it personal that when I come on here, it's to address one person. I'm speaking general. I'm not speaking directly to you or what you said or this and that, so don't take it personal. The movement is justice for Troll. It's not just for this family. It's for families. It's for people all around the world that want justice for Troll. So at the same time, don't get it twisted that that's not the main goal and the main issue. So I'm not coming for nobody. I'm not only speaking of my opinion. And my opinion is, it's still Lulu. It starts with Lulu. Yes, we want to get to the bottom of it. Anybody besides Lulu that had something to do with it, yes, we want justice for my nephew.
Now, a few days ago, Tyrone's cousin Natalie, who has been very vocal since his passing, posted the following to her Instagram. And it says the following: "At that damn Lulu, if you truly cared for him, have accountability and give us the answers we need. Give us the closure the kids need. After we get justice, it'll still be just us. I wish this on no one. Accountability can save a lot of relationships." So Lulu responded, "Natalie, I had a full conversation on the phone with you personally, giving you the truth while I was still in Gainesville. I told you from start to finish what happened and answered every question you had for me. You ultimately ended the conversation by saying you would call me back because if I'm not mistaken, you said you needed a minute. I can't tell you anything more because there isn't anything more to share. Natalie, how you go from being one of our biggest supporters to automatically assuming the worst about me after we spoke? Why is it so impossible to believe that I had nothing to do with baby's passing? Or why is it so hard to believe that I truly don't have anything else to possibly share because I don't have the answers you are looking for? You know how much I love him and you know how much he loves me."
It's not about the answers that you don't have the answer someone's looking for, Kiara. It is about the fact that the answers you have given there's no logic to it. The logistics of you hitting a human being with a car and the only impact is to the back of the head in a specific spot to cause the damage that it caused does not add up. It's not that difficult. It's called precedent. Look at other case law. I encourage all of you all. Look at other cases similar to this. And you'll understand exactly why I keep saying this. Because you have other cases that have already been established in place where people have been charged for setting up a murder for hire or setting up their spouse and then they get help from a third party. That's oftentimes someone that they're romantically involved with. I mean, just logistically, how did that accident look? Describe the accident step by step. After you made the U-turn to go around underneath the bypass, where you claimed that he not necessarily jumped. I wouldn't even use that term because he didn't jump out of a car. Where he tried to exit the vehicle while you claimed it was still in motion at 25 miles per hour. Exactly how did it happen? Was he wearing a seatbelt? Because that would have been impossible for him to just do that like that. Why would he have food in his hand? Who gets out of a car and they're angry and upset? They had an argument and you got food in your hand. Why you just didn't leave it in the car? Like, that makes no sense. You're going to free your hands up. You got to open the door. You got to take a seatbelt off. How did that happen where the door of your vehicle did not get flat out just knocked off by another car? But you claim another car hit him. A red sedan? What's this red sedan? What's the make and model of that car and the plate? Because the cameras in the traffic lights would show that. If instead of her asking, is there any footage? Ask them to give you the footage. There's footage. Those cameras are continuously recording. You can literally look at videos of traffic camera footage in that same area online. That's a Google search. But this is stuff that she's not disclosing. Like, okay, let me make sure this makes sense when I say this out loud. How does one achieve hitting someone in the back of the head and no other part of the body with an SUV of all things? Get the F out of here. Oh my God.
So you had to know that I'm grieving and I'm hurting too. Our lives revolved around each other. Each day has literally been effing hell trying to do life without him. No calls, no texts, no I love yous, no nothing.
No, never mind his kids. He got 2 kids.
Then she continues, I'm so tired of the false accusations. You all didn't hear what you wanted to hear and or didn't believe what I said. But instead of letting the detectives do their job and figure out what happened, you all chose to bring it to social media like they could help. You all know Tyrone would have never in a million years wanted the details to his death, something so personal, told to the public. I was the one in Gainesville calling the city, asking if their traffic cameras worked to see if those videos could give insight on what happened. I was the one asking the police officers what the F happened in shock when I got back to see him on a stretcher. I was the one in the hospital trying to get him transferred to another hospital along with one of his close friends after being told he was declared brain dead in hopes that he would gain back brain.
Yeah, along with one of his close friends. Why is that just coming out now? See, that's the thing. This is why no one believes her. Why she's putting out more information every time she puts up a post. It's like, why didn't you mention this before that one of his close friends were there? Why didn't you mention that? Make that make sense. If the mother was there at the hospital, why wasn't she a part of this avocation for him to be transferred to another hospital, which honestly they would not have done. They just wouldn't have done it. You're going to take him to another hospital for him to still have the same diagnosis rendered where he's, brain dead. But why would you not mention the mother being there? Wouldn't she be the biggest advocate of this? Because, she's standing up in these public meetings talking about, I need to know what happened to my son. Like she's competing with someone over this. There's no competition in this stuff. There's no competition. Shouldn't be any competition between the mother, the aunt, the father, no one. The sisters, the cousins, don't care. No one should be competing. I'm an equal opportunity fusser. I fuss at everybody. I'm going to fuss at everybody involved in this. I'm not picking. That's the beauty of me remaining impartial. But it's the lack of logic and common sense. And just how logistically this accident occurred where she's claiming she hit him with a car. She didn't think she hit him that hard. And yet it was only the back of the head. That does not line up. That's not how car accidents work. I mean, people could just, if you guys just Google, an example of someone being hit with a car. Just look up videos of people being hit with a car from the front. Look at videos where it's someone being hit by a car from the driver's side, from the passenger side, in the front end of the vehicle. And you can see exactly what happens to the human body during that process. And then you try to visualize this happening in this situation with Tyrone Jr. I guarantee you're going to have a lot more questions. That's part of this research here. That's part of what we as a YouTube community are doing. Look at video footage of someone being hit by a car. Start with an SUV. Let's keep it as realistic as possible. So you all can see for yourselves how that's not logistically possible to hit someone solely to the back of the head with a car. And no other part of the body is injured. You didn't get caught underneath the bumper. None of that. So look at those videos. They're out there. And you'll see like, oh man, that really makes no sense. I encourage you all to look at least 3 videos. Just do a Google search. Vehicle hits person in traffic. And you can see what happens with the body. Nowhere in the world. He should have had broken legs, dislocated shoulder, maybe some fractured ribs. He should have had a whole lot of issues going on. But see, here's the thing. The mother, nor the girlfriend, are saying exactly what the medical examiner said. What they noted in their medical examination. They're not saying that he had an autopsy done. Part of that autopsy is doing a medical examination. They're notating all bruises, scars, breaks, tears, cuts, gashes, everything. They have to notate all of that. Sign of blunt force trauma. If someone was strangled, they can see that around the neck. They'll be able to tell down to the muscle tissue if someone has something around the neck, because it's going to leave some bruising around on the skin as well as damage the muscular tissue around the neck. There's signs to show certain things occurred. And that's what they're going to notate in the medical examination. What was listed on the medical examination? If there are no other injuries to any other part of his body, you're going to have to ask her, explain to us step by step what happened with the accident. What part of the car made impact with him? What part of the vehicle made impact with his head? Was it on the driver's side? Was it on the passenger side? Did he hit the top of the car? Did he flip up in the air? Exactly how did this go? Step by step. And then show a video footage of, okay, here's what a typical, in any other accident where a vehicle hits a person, and you can show at least different angles. Here's what occurs. So what you telling us is not matching what we're able to see, what normally happens on average when someone gets hit by a car. It's not lining up. As opposed to the mother going to the girlfriend and demanding that she sits down, I want you to draw this out. I want you to write this out step by step how this happened. No. She's going to a public meeting trying to have a content creator removed from the meeting and infringing upon his First Amendment rights. Make this make sense?
Activity like so many others have done in the past. I've been trying to get answers and help baby in whatever way I could since the day he went to the hospital. It's like you all have made it your life's mission to say and do whatever you can to falsely incriminate me or assassinate my character.
Who's
you guys even brought the
me?
kids into it by stating it was true that I turned off their phones. First of all, I don't share a phone account with baby. Second off, I'm not authorized on his account to even make that type of change. Thirdly, only Elijah is on his account because Tyrone initially took Chloe's phone and suspended her line back in August or September to discipline her after she got in trouble, in which her mom told us both face to face she was cool with him disciplining her and completely understood. However, her mother decided to overstep Tyrone and turn on a different line for her on a different plan with another phone she previously had a few days later. Tyrone has his sister TT's Apple Watch on his plan, so I'm sure that service is off. So I wanted to turn that off too. Elijah's mom or whoever had him block my number on his phone. Chloe never wanted me or her dad to have her new number, and I'm no longer speaking to Tyrone on his phone, so how the F am I supposed to know the phones are off? A simple trip to T-Mobile or calling or texting my phone could have cleared that up. But again, the family as a whole would rather think the worst of me. Common sense would tell you that the line was off probably because of non-payment.
No, you're sitting here talking about these phones in great detail. Why can't you describe that car accident in great detail? Yep, you all understand what I mean by step by step. You see how she's able to sit here and go through the aspect of her not knowing that a phone was disconnected. Look at all the details that she's giving us with that scenario. But she can't go step by step as to what happened between leaving Papa John's and him ending up underneath a bypass in the middle of the street. She can't do that, though. You know, if you're going to sit here and write a soliloquy out, let it be detailed steps on what happened with this accident. Step 1, he got in the car, leaving Papa John's. Step 2, I put the car in reverse. Step 3, I made a left turn onto this street, and here's a map. Step 4, we went through this light. We were arguing. Words were said. Here's what I said that actually triggered him to want to get out, allegedly. Step 5, I made a U-turn. Why can't she do that? If that's something that you know is not normal and it doesn't happen often, that's not something you can just forget, no matter how hard you try. May the girlfriend lose sleep until she comes clean and gives us step by step on what happened with this accident. And why the hell is she not in jail for that? Not even a ticket? You kidding me?
He is no longer here to pay the bill. The family continues to scream you don't know what happened, but in the same breath, you have thrown out so many false accusations and opinions, given social media info to run with. We are all hurting, but you all are too selfish to see that or care. Natalie, months ago, you told me out of your own mouth that you blame me for Tyrone distancing himself from the family. My response was, how can you blame me? Tyrone is very headstrong, and I can't make him do anything, and anything that he does do is because he wants to do it. Your reply was, I know, but it was easier to blame you for my cousin not wanting to come around as much. Whether you are realizing it or not, you are doing the same thing now. Blaming me is not going to give the end result that we all want, and that's bringing Tyrone back. You lost a cousin, but I lost the love of my life. My best friend, my soulmate. The loves are different, so I will not even try to compare them, but for the 100th time, I'm hurting too, if not more. The spreading of false accusations and mentioning me in posts and stories like you all don't have my phone number is harassment. And then people have the nerve to say,
No, girl, no, ma'am. I don't think she understands the legal definition of the word harassment and how the court will see it. Reporting on this story is not harassment to you because it's not about you, you dumb narcissist. You can't make this up. You know, yet again, didn't the mother say they have 2 attorneys? So no one is talking to an attorney about this. God. Harassment. Another word she can't define. No. This is not harassment reporting on the story. You were the last person with him. By default, you will be mentioned in the reporting because you were the one with him. But if what you're saying is not adding up and you don't give details of the accident itself, don't get upset when the public starts to speculate. And they're going to continue to speculate until if you could type up this long 2-3 page essay over, some cell phones, do the same thing about what happened in that car. Put up some Google Maps on exactly the path you took. Who else was in the car with you? Who's that third person I had at the gas station? Like, those are the things why didn't you say earlier that some guy named Jason was at the hospital with you? See, when you withhold information and you're intentionally doing it to be deceptive or to be manipulative of a storyline, and then you're wondering about traffic camera footage, it's because it recorded what you did. It recorded everything that occurred on that road. Being evasive does not help your case. If you're going to speak on social media, don't sit here and waste time telling us about a phone being disconnected. Give us step by step what happened the moment he got back in that car from Papa John's. And take us all the way through into what happened when you pulled up at the Circle K. Why don't you go get the camera footage for that? You can't make this up.
Why isn't she screaming justice for Dro? Or is she innocent? She should be screaming the truth. It's because the slogan was created to incriminate me. It was attached to the very false
That's not how
accusations
incrimination
of Lulu hitting
works.
Tyrone in the back of his head with a Hennessy bottle, which is straight bullshit. This was an accusation created by Tasha, a family member who never even made it to Gainesville while he was in the hospital to see his injuries for herself. My baby ain't letting nobody beat on him, including his
What
wife.
are all the injuries? Here you go. So what were all the injuries again? Because so far, all we know is blunt force trauma to the back of the head. See, if you were with him, you should at least be able to say what else may impact with that vehicle. What other part of his body may impact with the vehicle? When people ask Lulu questions, Kiara, you don't answer those questions. So you're wasting time giving us all this filler fluff and having a tantrum on the internet, and you're not saying step by step what happened. Help us understand the logistics. How did he end up getting out of a car with food in his hand? And then now he's laying underneath the bypass. What? No reasonable person would have an argument and get out of a car with food in their hands like that. It's not reasonable. There's no logic to that. Wait, no, she doesn't tell us that. No, if he have other injuries, what were those other injuries? Other than the blunt force trauma to the head, she's using injuries, plural. That indicates it's more than one injury. What are the other injuries? See, these are questions that are being asked based on what you're putting out there, and you're not answering those questions. That's the problem. And if you know more than what you're putting out there to the public, what you're disclosing to the public, that could be seen as lying by omission. Say what happened at the accident, girl. Stop putting people, in a position where they got to sit here and keep theorizing and speculating because you're beating around the bush. Once again, why is Jason just not coming up? Why didn't you mention it before that he was there at the hospital with you? Girl, bye.
Narrative that baby is some type of simp or a man that couldn't handle his own is insane. Like, be effing for real. With that being said, why would anyone in their right mind and in my position ever say justice for Dro? I have been telling the truth, but some are choosing not to believe it. I even made a post to address everything and give an explanation for my silence within the first 2 weeks of everything happening, but people are hollering, family included, that it's all chat GPT. I'm educated. I have a bachelor's degree in science. You mean to tell me that you really don't think I can take my thoughts and type them out and formulate a statement? No matter what I say, it will never be enough because everyone has had their mind made up that I'm guilty from the very beginning. I'm damned if I do say something because it spun to whatever conclusion whoever is reading it comes to, and I'm damned if I don't say anything because I look guilty or people presume I never cared or didn't care as much. When are you all going to stop attacking me and just focus on grieving as we all wait for the reports to come back? How much do you expect me to take? Any of you could be in my situation because you all fuss and fight with your partners, even have crashed into your dude's car or tried to run them over, but you choose to give a blind eye to the fact.
No, girl, no. You talking about incrimination? Kiara, you do not understand the definition of the word incrimination. You just don't. You can't make this stop. Watch out. You do not understand what incrimination means. I can guarantee you that. If you did, you would not have put up this post. You're using big words that you can't define, girl. Stop using big words you cannot define. You should not have to find out the hard way by facing a judge in a court of law what incrimination means. You want to talk about incrimination? Yeah, just keep on talking. That's all we want you to do. At least spill out the details step by step of what occurred between him getting back in that car from Papa John's until the moment you pulled up into a Circle K. Step by step, everything that happened. And name all the other injuries because you're using this term in a plural sense. So, since you're so educated, you understand the difference between singular and plural. Plural denotes that there's more than one. So I don't have to sit here and make an assumption. I just go based on what you said and then use your words against you. What are the other injuries? Line it out. Why don't you get the camera footage from the police officers that were on the scene if they showed up? Disclose that information about what other injuries did he have. Because you claim that there are so many injuries. What are all the injuries? All of them. Because right now, logistically, it's not making sense to that being, caused by a vehicle hitting him. That's that one injury to the back of the head. Seriously? When we all can just watch videos of people getting hit by a car and see that there are more injuries you're going to have. That direct impact like that. And you moving, the vehicle is in motion 25 miles per hour. Even at 25 miles per hour, that's a lot of energy and inertia coming your way. All that gross tonnage from that vehicle. 2-3 ton vehicle coming your way at the energy is coming. It's going to do a lot of damage. But it's going to do more damage to multiple parts of the body, not just the back of the head. So since she's a simpleton and she doesn't understand how the logistics of this works, she can Google and look up videos at what a car accident looks like with someone being hit by a car. And see, this is not even comparable to what you're saying. That's the problem. You're saying things that don't make any sense, that lacks logic. That's not logistically or physiologically possible or plausible. You're not telling us exactly what the other injuries are. You're not telling us step by step what happened with this accident. You're not saying anything. So kick rocks. I mean, you get mad because the internet is clapping back. Girl, bye.
Bad shit can happen in a blink of an eye.
You talking about this like this is normal to hit somebody with a car.
Or doing. She continues, please, if you love Tyrone or value his impact on the world, give him the respect and peace he deserves. If you don't know if something is true or...
Girl, no, not when you're sitting here saying, don't pretend like none of you all have hit somebody with a car. Any of you could be in my situation because you all fuss and fight with your partners, even have crashed into your dudes' cars or tried to run them over. No. You should be going to jail. What the hell? They got 2 attorneys. You're educated and you said that. You put this in a post. Oh, God. Yeah, keep talking, Kiara. Just keep on talking.
To stop attacking me and just focus on grieving as we all wait for the reports to come back. How much do you expect me to take? Any of you could be in my situation because you all fuss and fight with your partners, even have crashed into your dude's car or tried to run them over. But you choose to give a blind eye to the fact that bad shit can happen in a blink of an eye and it be outside of anyone who is involved, control, or doing. She continues, please, if you love Tyrone or value his impact on the world, give him the respect and peace.
So you just gonna sit here and just, put out there attempted vehicular homicide? Is that what we're doing? Now you can be charged with aggravated battery and assault with a weapon because you're using that vehicle as a weapon. It caused bodily injury and harm. You have 2 attorneys at your disposal? Or is it just the mother? Maybe it's just the mother with 2 attorneys. Perhaps the mother, since she wants to look out for the girlfriend so bad, should have the girlfriend contact one of her 2 attorneys so she can sit down and show them this post and ask lots of questions from that. Woo, child. Prosecutor will just have a field day with this girlfriend.
He deserves. If you don't know if something is true or can't prove it, stop spreading it. My twin brother was dragged into this even though he was over 1,000 miles away in a completely different state when everything happened. This amount of lies that have been put out by everyone is sick and insane. Side note, this post is not directed to just Natalie. Multiple of baby's immediate family members and complete strangers have mentioned me in post stories, instant DMs. This is for anyone who chooses not to believe a word I'm saying but continues to ask me for the truth. The same truth they've already heard or passed judgment when they have no idea what is going on for real. So at first we had only heard about immediate...
So unless she's already did a step-by-step of what occurred between him getting back in that car from Papa John's until the moment she pulled up into a Circle K, and I missed it, she has not explained that. People are asking questions. And good reporters are not going to sit here and just make baseless accusations like this. We're going to keep asking questions. But the more you dodge it and not answer it, because I'm not asking complicated questions here. Give us a timeline, step by step, of what occurred. It seems like it happened within a very short period of time. So the timeline should not be that long. From the moment he gets back in that car from Papa John's until the moment you pull up to the Circle K, step by step, what happened. So we can visualize this in our head. Because otherwise, it's not plausible. And I'm basing that on other video footage of someone being hit by a car. Fundamental facts about what happens to the human body when you get hit by a car. That's what I'm basing my questions on here. They're not giving any information. Her nor the mother not giving any solid, concrete information or evidence. And yes, I would still like to see any evidence about this withdrawal from that bank account. Because once again, instead of her talking to one of these two attorneys, they're not. But she has not denied that either. She has not flat out denied, no, I did not take $250,000 out of somebody's bank account. She has not denied that at all. Not even a little bit. So you might want to sit down and talk about that, because that can get you into just as much trouble as you sitting here saying, I'm gonna tell like you all don't hit people with cars. Like, no, we don't. People don't do that. You know, man, everybody would be in jail. Oh God.
Family being at the hospital, but nothing about Dro's friends. So when that came out, the internet started buzzing, and the friend that was actually there was his friend Jason. He has this to say.
I'm trying to put the story together, because how y'all, if he didn't know about it till the family knew about it, then he went up there with the family.
See, my road, they picked me up. Like, how many minutes did they came and pick me up? That shit crazy, bro. They picked me
Now
up.
they trying to say you drove Lulu up though.
Nah, man. Their mama done picked me up. His mom picked me up on Sunday, dog. They picked me up from my house, dog. Shit crazy.
They say him and Lou was fucking around. Y'all really underestimate my friend. First of all, stop playing on Tyrone name. Stop, fuck all the bullshit.
You can't make this up.
Stop playing with my dog like he was corny and lame.
But I ain't never did
Like
that.
he was corny, like he was gonna be around niggas who he called his boys, who he trusts, who he talked to on a regular basis, and he was gonna let a nigga play in his.
Okay, listen. This has nothing to do with Tyrone Jr.'s character. And I think I said this in a previous video. This would not, the onus would not fall on Tyrone Jr. If this Jason character and the girlfriend were messing around with each other, it speaks to their character. He's a truck driver. He's on the road. He could not visually see what she was doing 24/7. Once again, I'm going to just pull up case law and precedents that's been set where partners and spouses took out the other partner or spouse, and they had the help of the best friend or the sister or the brother. Even when it happens vice versa, when it's the man that's sitting here trying to take out the wife or the girlfriend because he's sleeping with the girlfriend's sister or aunt or even mama. There's a lot of precedence for that. It's the concept that he's making it seem as if it's just so implausible. Like, that's impossible. That would never happen. But if it does, then what? Then what? At the end of the day, isn't the idea is to get justice? Let the evidence carry where it's going to go. See, he could very well have been picked up by the mother. It doesn't mean that he was not with them prior to that. He's talking about, I put up a video of a Christmas party. We don't care. Because what you have not done is proven that you were not there between that time frame. Especially after they left the cabin to the point that she went to the Circle K. And then for her to sit there at the gas station, and it's like, why are you sitting there? Somebody just got out of a moving vehicle, and you're sitting there 5 minutes waiting for him to do what? With food in his hand. Oh, God. And this guy is just mumbling all over the place. In any other case, in any other scenario, where this happens all the time, the onus is never put on the victim. It's not the victim's fault if their partner or their spouse is cheating on them with a best friend or with a sibling or someone they know and love. It's like the shocker is in the fact that you make it seem as if that's impossible to happen. When there's precedence to show this happens more often than you think. I guess I'm just have to in the next video, I'm going to put up some case law where you all can see other cases where people have gone to prison for the rest of their lives because they wanted to take out their spouse or their partner to get rid of them because of money and because they were messing around with the best friend. Somebody that's like a brother. There's other cases for this where the woman is sitting in prison for the rest of her life. Oh yeah, this is not uncommon and unusual. It's very common. It happens more often than you think. That does not speak to Tyrone's character. Once again, you can know somebody for 30, 40 plus years and then never know what they're doing in the dark, behind closed doors. Are you with that person 24/7, every waking minute of the day? No. I find it odd that you have a grown man saying, I don't have anybody to tell me that they love me. You expecting this to come from another grown man. Sometimes people will communicate with you and get close to you so that they can know where you are, so they can know how to maneuver and move around you. Yes, there's case law for that. There's precedents that have proven that has occurred. Where you have the best friend keeping up with the person's movements because now you've learned their schedule. You learn when they're going to be in the state, when they're going to be at home, when they're going to be spending time with their kids, when they're going to be doing X, Y, and Z. What is their pattern of behavior? What does a typical day look like for them? If he's on the road and he's not able to see either of these two every single day, why is it implausible that they could have been messing around with each other behind his back? I'm just throwing out a theory here because of the fact that when you're doing this type of reporting, you have to keep an open mind on this. Because you can't just sit here and say, well, that's not, because I don't want to believe it, this didn't happen. No, that's not how that works. It's not how investigations work. And then people are shocked and in awe when it comes down the pipeline and this person is then being charged with being an accomplice, a co-conspirator, being involved. And then everybody's like, oh, I didn't know that this person was capable of doing this. No, you gave them too much benefit of the doubt. And they didn't deserve that. Treat it as, listen, he already hid the fact that he was at the hospital. And that's something simple to me. That's not something you need to hide. But if he's willing to hide that and withhold that information from people, to where this guy, it was Jamal, he didn't even know. So at least say, okay, well, here's an example where I'm learning something I didn't even know, and I'm close to Tyrone Jr. and Jamar, and I didn't even know that he was at the hospital. So there's a lot more that you still don't know then. That's common sense. But because I like to be factual, I'm going to pull up some precedents so you all can see there's other cases. That's just a similar, if not the same as this. It might not involve someone being hit by a car, but you have what you see as the spouse or the partner trying to take the other one out, owe some money, and because they want to have another life, or they're having some affair with a best friend or a brother or something like that. You can't make this up.
To be fucking his dick behind his back.
That nigga down. My dog would stop a bit down. You don't even pay that shit.
Nigga don't even like to look at Lulu when drove around. Anything, because nigga don't misunderstand it.
But how would you know that, though? You're not with him every waking minute of the day.
She ain't saying a fuck thing, but we all wrong. Wait on the police to tell us what happened.
Yeah, that's what she waiting on. Letting all this shit go on. Just like that, bitch. She don't care.
Not giving up, and this shit not gonna stop until they get justice for Tyrone Davis Jr. Then that's what the fuck we gonna do. This ain't got nothing to do with what the motherfuckers doing on YouTube, posting him and coming up with scenarios, accusing family members, talking about his mama, talking about his aunties. That's not what Tyrone would want. Tyrone would want his family to come together and fight for his name.
But if he cut the family members off based on the post, and the cousin has not denied it, the girlfriend already said in the post that the cousin Natalie blamed her for Tyrone Jr. cutting them off. Was Jamar not aware of that either? Once again, you got to pay attention to what is not being said as well. So if there's a history of Tyrone Jr. not dealing with the relatives, why would you think he would not want the truth to come out, even if it means, oh, okay, well, it ended up implicating the best friend, the girlfriend. The mama took some money. Why are they not denying that the girlfriend withdrew this money out of that bank account? They're not denying that at all. They don't even talk about it. They don't even address it. They're not showing any evidence or proof of it. I would like for the aunt to post up some evidence on this. Redact the bank statement, the address, and the account number. And post something up so we can see that these transactions occurred. It's that simple. Like, we haven't seen the evidence of it. But they haven't denied it either. It's also what's not being said. These scenarios aren't just scenarios of people coming up. I know me personally, I'm not creating scenarios off the top of my head. I'm saying it's logistically implausible to hit someone with a car based on actual footage of what I've seen where in other scenarios, people were hit by a car. That can be factually proven. Several videos out there on the internet for people to Google search and watch. You got to make it make sense. It logistically has to line up, and it's not. And if she's waiting for the police to tell us something that she can just be telling us what occurs step by step, that's a problem. Especially coming from somebody that has allegedly taken a lie detector test 3 times. Because she lied the first 2. You can't make this up. And this somehow he thinks this is making Tyrone Jr. look like a simp. No, it's not. It's called betrayal. I believe the word you're looking for is betrayal. He's not a simp. Especially if you can't control a person's every move. I'm sure he would never want to hear that his girlfriend was possibly having some relationship with his best friend behind his back. No one wants to hear something like that. But if you rule that out, you're not seeking justice, because if that comes down to where that may have been a part of this equation, and the detectives are able to get evidence on this and find out they're in cahoots with each other, then you're sitting around shocked and in disbelief. No, you shouldn't have expected that to be ruled out like that with no concrete evidence. If he didn't tell you he went to the hospital, what more is he keeping from you? You can't make this up. You got to look at this from all angles. Right now, this is not even being investigated as a homicide. That's the crazy part about this. But yet, they're already saying, well, this is impossible, because I don't want him to look like a simp. No, this has nothing to do with him being a simp. You have to factor in every scenario and then let the evidence rule it out. Let the concrete evidence take you wherever it leads you to. And if it leads to the girlfriend's front step and to Jason's front doorstep, then that's where it led to. That's what you have to do. You can always ask questions, but she's not giving any information. She's just throwing out her tantrum about why she thinks everybody's attacking her. Like, it's another term she's misusing. Can't make this up.
Don't let his name die in vain. Don't let him be a nigga that died in the gutter. My dog laid in the street by his motherfucking self. A bitch left my homeboy like he was a piece of trash sitting in the motherfucking street. It ain't nobody been able to answer for why the fuck he was left like that. And outside of that, we don't care about all who care what your story is or how the fuck you feel about what happened with him. I don't give a fuck if the police see my live. I don't give a fuck if I say something to somebody. I want y'all to be scared. Be scared I'm gonna do some dumb shit. Make that the cause for y'all to kill to go find the motherfucker who did this to my friend. And like, if Lulu really wanted to sit down, she would say, hey, you know what? At this time, we started arguing for this reason. And this is why we had to move, and this is what transpired. Down to whatever happened. And then we have to live with that. But the thing is, a guilty conscience won't allow you to say certain things. A guilty conscience won't allow you to verbalize certain things, especially when you're trying to hide something. Because you have to tell a lie, you have to stick with it. Lulu a lot smarter than y'all think she is. This bitch ain't dumb. She know whatever happened out there. It's like, okay, I want to say so much, and I want to just say, hey, yeah, bitch, I did X, Y, Z, and the nigga made me. But
No. She's trust me, she's not as bright as you think. You can get a serial killer to be quiet. You can't make this up. That does not speak to her intelligence. The post she put up talking about do not act as if some of you all do not run over your partner or your spouse, or run over people with a car. That has to be the biggest. It speaks to her intelligence saying that. She wants to talk about incrimination. Yeah, keep on talking, Kiera. Those who know better want her to keep talking. Those who know how exactly these investigations work, no, we want her to keep talking. Lulu, we don't want you to shut up at all. Just keep talking. Keep putting up your posts. Keep at it. No one stop you. Don't let the internet sit here and silence you. Keep going. Keep going. Just keep on going. Can't make this up.
She's not going to do that. So we have to keep fighting for justice the right way. Ain't nobody trying to kill nobody.
That's not a sign of intelligence, because she's omitting information.
We just want fucking justice. Not no money. Not none of that. Jay, when they called me from your phone, I asked why I didn't get called off real. When they been knew, that's all we screaming. We was the last to know that shit hurt.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
You found out before the family before they found out?
Look, they called me, like, woke me up out of my sleep. I'm like, say something happened to Tyrone. I'm like, what? And they had them,
like, who?
Like, send me a picture. I'm like, nah, for real. So I thought, I ain't thinking, like, it was, like, real, like, critical, like, ain't no, So I'm like, damn, so this somebody trying to find a car to get to Gainesville, whatever. I see. So I waited. They came pick me up, right? You feel what I'm saying? I rode down there, dog.
He's skipping out a lot of that information.
Like, it's on me. Like, I made a bad decision. How I feel. Like, why is it on me? Like, all I did was ride with. They picked me up. All I did was ride with them.
No one blamed it on you. But see, here's the thing. That's what a guilty conscience does as well. A hit dog will holler. We would not have known that Jason was a factor if it wasn't for Polo. He came out and confirmed what Polo said. It's funny how these things happen. He came out and confirmed what Polo said. Because, see, here's the thing. The girlfriend didn't ever say his name in the post. She just said a close friend. It took someone else to find out who that person was. And what did he do? He walked right into it. He confirmed that he was there. But he didn't tell anybody. For weeks, he sat on that information. Jamal, you're sitting here interviewing someone. You claim to be a friend. Well, not interviewing. You having someone on your platform, you claim to be a friend. And he didn't even tell you. He was at the hospital. This is not a matter of creating storylines. This is called common sense. This is called logic and using wisdom and good judgment. Why would he keep something as simple as that away from you all? And you're just now learning about this. And you were close to Tyrone Jr. and you're friends with this guy. You're friends with Jason. How close knit are you two? If you didn't know that he went to the hospital before the father side of the family. I mean, just ask yourself that. Why would he keep this from me? Why would he not notify any other family member? Would Tyrone Jr. want a whole side of his family to be omitted out of what's going on with him in the hospital? I'm not personally sitting here attacking the mother. The way she's moving is just highly suspicious. She's not making sense. She's going to public meetings, violating constitutional rights of others. And yet, based on what Jason is saying, the mother told him not to tell anyone, including the father side of the family. You think Tyrone Jr. wanted that? Do you really think he would want his father omitted out of a major life event like this, where he's lying someone in a hospital on a machine, being diagnosed with being brain dead? Do you really think he would not want his father to know? You want to talk about what he would and would not accept here? I don't think he would ever be okay with his mother withholding crucial information about his health and safety and well-being from his father. Now make that make sense. We cannot be hypocritical about this. If nothing else, just remain neutral and impartial. Honestly, if you don't have the ability to look at this from every angle, just be neutral and impartial about it. But if you didn't know he was at that hospital, then there's a lot more you do not know. Bottom line. And I don't think this young man would have been accepting of his mother withholding his health condition where he's on life support from his father. I think he would want all of his family to know. That was horrible. That was horrible of the mother to do that. He was a grown man and she's sitting here withholding his information from the father. Get out of here.
You feel me? Trying to zero on my friend. That's it. That's all I try to do. Try to be a supporter. How you supported me? That's all I try to do, dog.
They said that you found out before the family didn't call nobody.
They said they're gonna let people know what they found out. What's what? I ain't got nothing to do with it.
So basically, they told you not to say shit to nobody.
Yeah, that's what they found out. What the doctor's saying is he gonna pull through.
It's a yes or no. Yeah, so you see how it's a simple question right here.
They took the thing off his head. I'm understanding. They're looking at
You just not finding this out, Jamal.
Lulu say that she got to go back to the cabin to get her stuff, get their things, dog. You feel me? I'm like, what the fuck? You feel what I'm saying?
Nah, hold on, wait. Hold on.
How do you know that she didn't talk to him?
Or be on no bullshit. But I'm trying to get a visual of what's being said and what's going on. So because I was kind of lost on why everybody felt like you was already up there or what happened and all this.
He was.
Now,
he just admitted it.
Tyrone mama came and got you and took you up there, right?
Yeah, they picked me up, bro.
So why didn't nobody come on the other side of the family and tell them? Do you know why?
I don't know. It was early in the morning. I don't know. I went.
So they didn't want you. So you ain't call nobody.
Being early in the morning is irrelevant. You see all this filler and fluff coming out. It's like every time I hear this, I hear something different. What does that time of day have to do with anything? A text message was too difficult for you to do. You can take a photo, get a photo of him in the hospital, but you can't send out a text. I honestly would not have even been in agreement with the mother sitting here saying, "Don't tell anybody. Don't tell his father." Why are we not doing that? Hold on. I can't get down with that. I can't get down with that. You're sitting here trying to withhold information from the other parent. What are you doing? The mother wants to sit here and act like she's in competition with the aunt, to be honest. Going to a meeting and then still sitting here as opposed to just focusing on her son. Talking about how she's being attacked, how many people came to the funeral, and why an independent journalist or, content creator should be removed from a public meeting, which would violate his constitutional rights, by the way. I got to reiterate that because it seems as if the girlfriend and the mother have no idea how laws work. Absolutely unnerving. Jamar, you're just now hearing this from Jason, and it's been a month. You're just now finding out about this. What does that tell you? When he can't even be direct with you off screen, without social media, without him being called out by someone. He couldn't even be honest and blunt and direct with you about this. You can't be this narrow-minded.
We got out there to see what's going on. They said they're going to see what's going on. Like, when we got there, they're going to see what's going on with Tyrone, see if he's going to pull it through or whatever.
You never said who they were.
When they know everything, if it ain't going
they
to pull
pick
through,
me
they
up.
call everybody.
Who is they?
That ain't my call to. I don't have everybody's number.
When you got with them, at any point, did it don't know
You
you
have
like that? I should
anybody's
call
number?
somebody like, I should call Miss Natasha.
So they said when they know everything, if it ain't going to pull through, they're going to call everybody. That ain't my call to. I don't have everybody's number.
When you got with
You
them,
don't have everybody's number? Why? God, why would he need to say that again? It's not my call, but I didn't have everybody's number. Okay, it's irrelevant. Having everybody's number would be irrelevant. If it's not your call to make, it's not your call to make. You could have at least said, I'm not in agreement with the father not being knowledgeable of what's going on with his son. Of course I'm not going to agree with that. I'm a father myself. I'm not going to be in agreement with him. Why didn't Jason say that? I will never agree with the mother on her choosing to withhold this information from the father. She can get mad until Jesus returns. She's going to have to be mad. I disagreed with that, and I told her that. Why didn't he say that? He's sitting here talking about I don't have anybody's number. Irrelevant. It's a moot point. It's moot. If you are saying that it's not my call to make to reach out to the family in this situation, having someone else's number is irrelevant. But you have others. You have somebody's number. You had Jamar's number. Why you didn't call Jamal? Is it Jamal or Jamar? Looney. Why didn't you call Looney, Jason? Why didn't you text Looney? You all supposed to be like a band of brothers here? You didn't text, his other closest friends? How do you not have anyone else's number? So it's called social media, right? Are you not friends with Jamal on social media on Facebook? Jamal, you gotta sit down and ask this boy some more questions. You know deep down this makes no sense. There's no logic. The stuff he's throwing up at you with these responses is absolute garbage. It's garbage. Dude, what is not having anybody's number? What does that have to do with? You got my number. And if you don't have numbers, can you not reach out to them on Facebook? Aren't these people all on Facebook? They friends each other on Facebook? On Instagram? Hell, you see them all on YouTube videos. Why not leave a comment? Why not put up a post? I'm trying to reach out to the family. Can anyone get me in touch with them? So whatever a phone number could not do, he could have contacted them on social media. And he did not do that either. So ask him that. Why didn't you reach out to people on social media? Why would you let a whole month go by and we're just now learning that you were at the hospital with the girlfriend? Why? Who picked you up? What date and time did they pick you up? Because that doesn't mean that you could not have been with them prior to that. He's giving out this information the way he's giving it out for a reason. And he would rather not even answer these questions and say anything where he knows he might not be able to remember what he said previously. If you ask him again, I'm sure that this timeline, his responses are going to change. People who tell the truth are going to be consistent with it. People who are lying are going to forget what the hell they said the last time. Give him a couple more days, call him and ask him these same questions again. And break it down. And let's see what he says then. I can guarantee you something will be drastically different. This is absolutely absurd.
at any point, did it don't know you like, damn, I should call somebody, like, I should
He
call
didn't
Mr.
care.
Tasha, I should call.
He was
I
there
should
with the
call
girlfriend,
Jennifer
no.
Russell. Like, nobody thought, because what's going on right now, what it looks like is, like y'all was in cahoots to either keep them out of what was going on, so y'all got up there for whatever reason, or it's looking like you was already up there with the shit, and they just came up there and you was up there. So that's why people are having a misconception, because I had no idea.
They brought me into it. I just got pulled up there. You feel me? Like, I ain't know. They put me in the mix. Like, oh, like, I ain't know that. Like, all this going on like that. We're going to be like that. You feel me? You feel me? I did try to go there and see what's going on with them, dog. That's it. I don't know why they don't talk to me.
They didn't let me tell you something. There's nothing anyone can pull you into when you're a grown ass man that you're not willingly and allowing them to pull you into. Despite the messiness, the moment you got to that hospital, and the moment the mother told you, don't alert anybody, don't tell anybody, that moment you should have removed yourself out the situation. Get an Uber. Where is his vehicle? Why is he not driving a car? Does he not have transportation here? They picked him up. And he still won't say who they are. That's another question, Jamar, you can ask this man in a couple of days. Give him a couple of days. Give him a couple of days. And then ask all these same questions again. See what happens. Make sure you add on the list. Who are they? You said they picked you up. They picked me up. Who are they? Each person. Aside from the mother, who else was with her? You're saying they picked me up. If I had to look at the hospital surveillance camera footage outside the door of the entrance of where you walked in, what am I going to see? Am I going to see you walking in with just the girlfriend, or walking in with the mother and the girlfriend, or the sister and the mother? Who am I going to see you walking in with? So you can't lie on video evidence. And if you can get at least 2 eyewitnesses that can pinpoint him being there with specifically the girlfriend and the mother, or just the girlfriend, there's no way he would be able to get around it. As opposed to him just saying flat out, yes, I was there with the girlfriend. And she caught me. I had no idea what had transpired. Because, see, here's the thing. If he wants to prove he was not with them, he can get the camera footage from the hotel, from the Papa John's, from the Circle K. He can get all that camera footage. Right? So if we see that, we don't expect to see him in any of those video footages. He's being nervous about something that he's claiming was beyond his control. I don't have any say-so in not communicating. Plus, I didn't have everybody's number. That's an irrelevant point to me. You need to sit down and ask some questions. And listen, I'm going to be very specific. So some of these questions, I need a yes or no answer. That's it. You don't have to trust the internet, Jamar. You can ask him these questions yourself. And go from there. It's that simple.
They can talk to me, ask me. I answer my phone, they call, ask me. I told them the same thing. She said she was going back to the cabin to get their things from the cabin. That's what she said.
So he went to go get the shit from the cabin when y'all was up.
But
so
he
she
wasn't
claimed that he
talking
went
to
to the cabin when y'all was up there, while he was at the hospital.
Yeah.
So she left the hospital while y'all was there.
Right. There we go. She left the hospital while we were there, dog. She left that bitch. She telling his mom, I will be back. I'm going to get the rest of our things from the cabin, dog. That's all. That's all I heard from her. She haven't talked to me.
So he's corroborating what Aunt Natasha has said. What the cousin has said on the father's side. She told them she had to go back to the cabin to get her things. What things? He's literally corroborating what the aunt on the father's side and the cousin have said already. So, where's the lie in that? It's the things that he's not saying that concerns me. It's the information he's actually withholding that is concerning me. Jason, you need to go and talk to the detectives. Clearly, there's a whole lot more you have in you that you're not letting up. And until one of these so-called friends, brothers, or whatever of Tyrone Jr. sits down and actually asks you questions, they're not going to get the information they need to hear. They need to know. They're not going to get that because they don't want to even ask him questions because they don't want to believe he was involved. And that's not how you get justice. You can't pick and choose the information that can be corroborated that's related to this case. And you talk about justice here. It's not how that works. So Jamar could easily get Jason on the phone. You don't have to do a live stream. Do it off social media. Meet up with him and sit down and talk to him face to face, and ask him these questions. And if he has no issue with clearing his name, he would answer them, and he'll do it because he knows that the truth needs to be put out there. If he feels like he was set up by the family, ask him. Okay, the moment you found out the mother did not want you to share this with the father's side of the family or to tell anyone else, why didn't you just leave the hospital? Why didn't you say, you know what, I can't be a part of this. I cannot sleep peacefully knowing that you want me to keep this to myself and I can't tell the father. Because he could have contacted the father on social media. This is why the mother's side of the family is mad because he's saying something. The father side of the family is upset with Jason, because he did not call them and tell them anything. But he's the best friend / brother of Tyrone Jr. Make that make sense? So he's got both sides of the family upset with him for different reasons, but they're both upset with him. But if that is what it came down to, why not just be honest then? You have nothing to lose at this point. That's my point I'm making here. Jason has nothing to lose. Both sides of the family are pissed off with you. So what difference does it make? You're not trying to make anybody happy. Who are you still covering for? Go to the police station, talk to the investigators, and tell them what happened. Tell them what you saw, what you experienced when you went to the hospital. Show them the photos that you received. Tell them the timeline of what occurred when they, whoever they are, picked you up from wherever you were. Because he's not clear on that either. And if tomorrow you decide to sit down and ask him questions man to man, let him know, I'm not going on your Facebook. I'm not looking on your page to look at no video. You're going to tell me exactly what happened. Because if you were there or not there, you should be able to tell me your whereabouts. Because we're not doing this. For a whole month, you sat on this information. You said nothing. So now you need to give up some information. That's it. It's that simple.
None of that. She didn't talk to me. That you talking to them. She didn't talk to me. She didn't have a word for me, dog.
She didn't talk to you, but that's what she said to you.
That's it. God. But she talked to them, and I sat over there, and they sat over there talking, and that was it, bro. Like, I got in the mix. I don't know how, but shit crazy.
So, Mr. You rode the games.
You got in the mix and you got in the car.
Right. It picked me up from my house.
So, Mr. Renee, not talking to you now?
Nah, bro. Haven't heard from him, dog. Haven't heard from him at all. Nobody.
Have you heard from Lulu?
Have you reached out?
I swear to God, on my daddy. Haven't heard from him either. At all.
You see what he's saying? The way he's wording this? He haven't heard from them, but has he tried to reach out? Perhaps he hasn't tried to reach out either. I mean, what is the deal with this? The fact that he's obviously nervous on live stream and he's just extremely choppy with what he's saying. Well, just because he has not heard from them does not mean he attempted to reach out to them either. If you didn't reach out to them when you were in the hospital visiting Tyrone Jr., don't you think that would be cause for concern? Don't you think they have the right to be upset about you not communicating that? You going along with this, what the mother told you not to do, which was to communicate this to at least the father. And you went along with that. So to say, I didn't want to be caught up in the mess, but you still chose to keep this information to yourself and withhold it and not tell anybody you were there, you can't say people should not be suspicious of that. Of course people are going to be baffled by that. What do you mean? Yeah, no, I didn't want to be involved in this. They pulled me into it. But the mother told me not to tell anybody, so I didn't tell anybody. What? No. God. Okay.
I need Miss Natasha to come on my live. I don't know how to add her because I'm so confused right now. It's so much misinformation, and I'm not the friend.
No, it's not confusing. It's exactly what they said all along.
Like I'm not, because I'm the friend that Tyrone knows. Like call me when it's time to hurt people. But when we finna commit a felony, don't call me because all the different stories, and all I want to know is really what happened to my friend. And it's just like I don't want to. It's so hard to not understand that I don't want to be put in the middle.
I'm praying that this does not become one of those cases that just doesn't get solved. I really hope the Gainesville is doing their job. The Gainesville Police Department, that is.
Why host him in this live stream if you didn't want to be pulled into the middle of it? Why sit here and try to attempt to help him clear his name? And you're not even asking, why, dude, you sat on this for a month. Come on, man. You don't have to agree with what the mother did. You could have contested to that. You could have said, no, ma'am, I'm not, What you're doing is wrong. If you're trying to exclude the father, that is wrong. Am I going to call the father side of the family and talk to all these other people? No. But I am going to let the father know. And then you can be mad until Jesus returns. He is the father. He has the right to know what's going on with his son. He's a grown man, and you don't get to dictate that. That's a horrible way to do this. I don't agree with that. And I don't want to be involved in y'all mess. The mother's treating it like, he was a minor or something, and she mad at the dad for not paying child support. That's how she's treating this situation. It's ridiculous. Either that, or she's making a fool of herself at a public meeting. Trying to attack a independent journalist, someone that's on YouTube, a content creator. It's just buffoonery. You kidding? This young man lost his life. He had 2 kids. He's got 2 minor children. And the girlfriend is sitting here making everything about her. And oh, how she's being attacked. Girl, stop throwing a tantrum and grow up. Get your behind off social media if you don't like it. But you're not giving us a detailed description of what occurred step by step between Papa John's and Circle K. Are you kidding? Give us all the other injuries that he incurred. Because clearly you know this. And if you don't, then you sat down there for almost a day and said nothing. Y'all have to understand that he has other family members. He has other loved ones that loved him and cared about him. And you all withheld crucial information from them within the first 24 hours that they had the right to know about. It's not confusing. What's confusing is he's not answering the questions. I'm telling you right now, Jason would not be able to... Listen. If I had to sit down and ask questions to Jason, hey, child, he wouldn't last 2 minutes. You can't make this up.
I am praying for justice for Dro. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about this update on Tyrone Davis Jr.? Leave a comment and we'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you, Chronicle Speaks, for this video and how she put this together. I absolutely appreciate the editing. Sometimes it's just easier to comment on a summary of this, but this is something else. This could have been... There are a lot of questions that could have been answered a long time ago. It's been over a month. And you have new things that are coming out because content creators are putting that information out to the forefront. Bottom line. If you want justice, why not sit down and talk to him? You don't want to trust anything on social media and all these different stories? Fine. Talk to him yourself and you can gauge whether or not he's telling the truth. But if you're going to sit here and put him out here try to clear his name, you should be asking him, why didn't you tell me a whole month and you said nothing? Come on now. This story gets crazier and crazier day by day. I honestly, just having reported on information like, cases like this previously, sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. If Jason wants to get ahead of this and he does not want to be involved with the mess, he needs to talk to the detectives. He needs to talk to the investigators. He needs to tell them everything that he know, that he heard, that he saw, that he witnessed. He needs to clear his name with them. There's a whole lot more that he's kind of stuttering over and he's not saying. And I, honestly, the girlfriend using words like incrimination that she can't define. And still making posts. Yeah, just keep at it, Lulu. Just keep at it. And no one's here to stop you from talking, okay? The mother's got 2 attorneys. She's speaking out at these public meetings and just sound crazy. I'm his mother. We know that. Why would you not want his father to know that he was laying up in a hospital on life support? You're out of your mind. This is ridiculous. And all for what? They still haven't denied the $250,000 withdrawal. That's just in case anybody still want to keep that in the back of your mind. They have not denied this transfer, this withdrawal, or her getting any money. And I hope the Aunt Natasha posts up something to show proof of that. Like, just show some evidence of that. Like I said, you can redact the bank statements, show the bank statements of these transactions and highlight it. Because it makes no sense. Just leave the name up there. It should have Tyrone's name and whoever the other account holder is. Redact everything else. Address, account numbers, phone numbers. We don't need to see any of that other stuff. We just want to make sure that it's the names on those accounts and to see the transactions. Everything else can be redacted. Meaning you black it out. Just put that up. Give us something. Because otherwise, speculation it is. They want justice, but they want, they only want it in one form. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. So, thank you all so much for tuning in. And, this is an eye-opener. The mother getting up there trying to infringe upon constitutional rights. Stop worried about what people are saying on social media. If it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. At the very least, if there's no evidence to prove it to be true, then it's not true. Y'all, I'm an equal opportunity fusser. I'll fuss at all of them. I don't care. But I can say, based on what the girlfriend has said, she's played a bigger role in this and has done something extraordinarily heinous, even with the negligence. You leaving somebody that got out of a moving car at 25 miles per hour? No. There's no excuse you can render for that. And it is not a common occurrence for somebody to hit somebody with a car. I don't care what you're arguing, fighting about. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. That's not common. And any other person that has done that, they were charged for that and they went to jail. Can't make this up. Keep on talking, Lulu. Keep on talking. Girl, bye. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I'll do another update when more information comes out. Hit the like button. Let me know your comments and thoughts below. And yeah, shout out to Chronicle Speaks once again. Shout out to all the other content creators that's covering this. Because there's enough information for everybody to be able to report on it. Just keep that in mind. No one owns this story. It's just ridiculous. And hopefully, let's keep it as factually as possible. Because I can give you reasons as to why I draw my conclusions. Like I said, people need to look at video footages of other people being hit by a car so you can understand what the logistics of that looks like. So you can know how to question this. There's information out there, resources out there. Go to the meeting. The next meeting they have in Gainesville with the commission, go to the meeting. Pull up the board meetings they have on the website, the agendas. You can see exactly what they're going to talk about in the meetings. Sign up to be able to speak. They'll give you 3 to 4 minutes. And go from there. Be specific and detailed. You only get 3 or 4 minutes. Don't waste time while you're there. Get the content creators. Tell them exactly what you need. You have an opportunity to get more attention brought to this case. Make it worthwhile. Anybody can go there. Find out when the next meeting is on the website. And don't let anybody infringe upon your constitutional rights. Free speech and expression, freedom of the press, the rights that we all here enjoy in the United States of America. Don't catch a federal lawsuit because you're trying to infringe upon that. You don't have the authority to have someone removed from a public meeting. It makes no sense. That should not be your focus. So, until the next one, you guys take care. Lady, look out. Deuces.